Here is a view of the sky from Salt Lake City, Utah, where the Clark Planetarium is located. You can pan this video on your smartphone or computer to look around the scene. Currently, the sun appears to be in the south. If we speed up time, we can observe how the sun appears to move throughout the day. From Earth, it looks as if the sun is flying across our sky. From out in space, we see that it is really Earth that is rotating, making the sun appear to rise and set each day. As it gets darker, stars appear. Now we have more reference points to observe the Earth's rotation. Notice how stars in the southern part of the sky appear to rise and set just like the sun. Groups of these stars, called constellations, like Leo the Lion, are only visible in our sky during certain seasons. Leo is easiest to find during the spring. If you can still see the constellation Leo, you are facing roughly towards the south. Now, rotate your view to look back in the opposite direction, towards the north. Take a moment to observe how the stars in the northern part of the sky appear to move. Did you notice that these stars don't rise and set? These stars travel in big circles around the sky, but never dip below the horizon. As you keep observing, can you spot a star that appears not to move at all? This star's name is Polaris. It is also called the North Star. This name makes sense because it is due north in the sky. The North Star has been used for centuries as an aid to navigation. You can count on it to help you find north at any time of the year. That is what is so great about these northern stars that don't rise or set. They're out all year long. We call these circumpolar constellations because they surround the North Star. A famous group of circumpolar stars is the Big Dipper. Can you find it? I'll highlight it for you. The Big Dipper is not an official constellation though. It's part of a larger constellation called Ursa Major, or the Big Bear. There is also a little bear in the night sky called Ursa Minor. People also call this group of stars the Little Dipper. Polaris is part of the constellation Ursa Minor. Now I'm going to show you a trick to help you find the North Star, or Polaris, at any time of the night or any time of the year. All you have to do is find the Big Dipper, follow down its handle to the two end stars. Follow the line these two stars make until you run into Polaris. And there, you found north. It's really helpful that we have a star that appears due north all year long. Why is that? Why do some stars rise and set with different seasons, and some never dip below the horizon? Let's blast off into space and find out. From this view, we can see Earth orbiting around the Sun. Earth is not to scale, and we have made it bigger than it should be here so that we can observe how it moves. The red dot on Earth shows the location of Salt Lake City. This is where we were just observing the sky. As Earth rotates, the red dot moves into and then out of the sunlight. This makes the sun appear to rise and set in our sky. Here, we are drawing a line from the North Pole all the way through the Earth and out the South Pole. We call this imaginary line Earth's axis. You can see that Earth spins around it. Notice also that it is tilted with respect to Earth's orbit. Let's stop in the summertime. Here, Earth's axis is leaning toward the sun. The northern hemisphere gets longer days and more direct sunlight, making it warmer in the summertime. Now, let's extend Earth's axis. If we make it hundreds of light years long, we can see that it points almost directly towards the North Star Polaris. If we move over to the winter on the other side of Earth's orbit, will the axis still be pointing at Polaris? Remember, when we observed Polaris from Earth, it didn't matter what season it was. Polaris was always due north in the sky. So yes, the axis will still be pointing at Polaris. Here, Earth is leaning away from the sun, so the northern hemisphere gets shorter days and less direct sunlight, making it colder during the winter. Now we see the reason why we can always count on Polaris to point us to the north, at least if we live in the northern hemisphere. It is because Earth's axis is always tilted toward Polaris. Also, since the circumpolar constellations are near where the axis points, they appear to move in circles around Polaris in the night sky and never set. The tilt also gives us our seasons. So, next time you look at the night sky, see if you can find the Big Dipper and use its two end stars to point to Polaris. And remember, you'll have plenty of time to practice because Polaris and the Big Dipper will be right there in the north for the rest of your entire life.